Adventures in Pixieland presents your daily energy reading. Our daily Bible verse for March 27th, 2026 is 2 Corinthians 3:18. In the King James Version, we have, "But we all with open face beholding, as in a glass, the glory of the Lord, are changed into the same image from glory to glory, even as by the Spirit of the Lord." In the New International Version, we have, "And we who with unveiled faces all reflect the Lord's glory are being transformed into his likeness with ever increasing glory, which comes from the Lord, who is the Spirit." Upon open-faced versus unveiled. Now, veils were a really huge thing then. There was a whole lot of apparently needing to veil your face, no matter what the activity might be, no matter how intimate the activity might be, which makes me and then, there was the putting the veil over Moses' face because they were too afraid of how shiny he was. The closer you get to Creator, the more you've got to shine, and that can make people uncomfortable who are around you. God often makes people uncomfortable. That's how that works. So remember that the closer you get to God, the more shiny you become, and that is the point. You don't become the sun. You become like the moon, reflecting the light of the sun off of you and out to the world. And you do this by proclaiming his name. So may the Lord be with you and keep you and give you peace. Your Elder Futhark daily rune is Wunjo. Wunjo, the letter W, its meaning is joy. Its associations are harmony, the joy of life, prosperity, well-being, fellowship, and self-worth. Just the true joy comes from within. I peep the map down below to see all the places where this Elder Futhark rune would have had influence. Our Hebrew letter of the day is Nun. Like Joshua, son of Nun. Nun, or the one who took over for Moses. Nun, the number 50, the letter N. A fish, to sprout, to spread, offspring, descendant, action, sire, heir to the throne, and faithfulness. The one with the greatest faithfulness shall be the heir to the throne. Peep the map down below, courtesy of PBS, that shows the Jewish diaspora, which in my opinion means this is where this letter had some influence. Our daily Archangel card is Crystal Clear Intentions. The Archangel Michael says, be clear about what you desire and focus upon it with unwavering truth. Our daily sacred geometry card is our transition card 43. Transition. The frequency of transition supports our deep understanding of the ever-changing nature of existence and our lives so that we can learn to let go, surrender to the process, and allow transition to occur with ease and grace. Grace is one of my favorite words. Ease and grace. Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name's Amy. I'm an ordained minister, and we are in Bible study. We are in the King James Version of the Bible, and we are in Psalms Book 2. We are in Psalm 69, which again is a long psalm for 4th Psalm. It's 36 verses. So we'll be breaking it into 2. We'll be doing verses 1 through 18 in this video. Tomorrow, you'll have to come back if you want to hear 19 through 36. So let's jump in. To the chief musician upon Shoshaniim, Shoshannim, a psalm of David. Save me, O God, for the waters are come unto my soul. I sink in deep mire, where there is no standing. I am come into deep waters, where the floods overflow me. I am weary of my crying. My throat is dried. My eyes fail while I wait for my God. They that hate me without a cause are more than the hairs of mine head. They that would destroy me, being mine enemies wrongfully, are mighty than I restored that which I took not away. Oh. They hate me wrongfully, but I gave them what they think I took from them in the first place, and when I didn't take it. O God, thou knowest my foolishness, and my sins are not hid from thee. Let not them that wait on thee, O Lord God of hosts, be ashamed for my sake. Let not those that seek thee be confounded for my sake, O God of Israel. Because for thy sake I have borne reproach. Shame hath covered my face. I am become a stranger unto my brethren, and an alien unto my mother's children. For the zeal of thine house hath eaten me up, and the reproaches of them that reproach thee are fallen upon me. When I wept and chastened my soul with fasting, that was to my reproach. I made sackcloth also my garment, and became a proverb to them. They that sit in the gate speak against me, and I was the song of the drunkards. But as for me, my prayer is unto thee, O Lord. In an acceptable time, O God, in the multitude of thy mercy, hear me, and in the truth of thy salvation, deliver me out of the mire. Let me not sink. Let me be delivered from them that hate me, and out of the deep waters. Let not the water flood overflow me, neither let the deep swallow me up, and let not the pit shut up her mouth upon me. Hear me, O Lord, for thy loving kindness is good. Turn unto me according to the multitude of thy tender mercies, and hide not thy face from thy servant, for I am in trouble. Hear me speedily. Draw nigh unto my soul, and redeem it. Deliver me because of my enemies. Haven't we all been there? Where the day has just been so rough and there's just been so much going on, and you just feel like one thing is piling on top of another, and this one and that one, and everybody seems to be gossiping or running their mouth. They're creating a problem. Turn to the Lord most especially then. Especially if one is being falsely accused. The Lord can see what you do. So he's not listening necessarily. He's not, like, he might hear them, because he can hear everybody's voice. But it doesn't mean he's going to react in anything that they're praying for. And he says so. Not everybody who prays, Lord, Lord, do I even respond. Right? Because if they're asking for an iniquity to be done against you, he's not going to do that. If you're asking for an iniquity to be done against them, he's not going to do that either. That's the other side of that coin. So everybody has to reap what they sow. So he has to determine that they deserve that behavior, whatever it is, whatever that repercussions might be. But best be assured that if they haven't changed their behavior, the repercussions they've been going through, whatever you might have seen or whatever the repercussions that come from them, because repercussions will come. Everybody that schemes gets caught in their schemes eventually. So it will overtake them. You are free to focus on what God gave you to do instead, because it's not going to be to sit there and stare at them people, unless he gave you something that you can do to change it, in which case you should do that. And if you're not sure, ask him for signs. But you do have to wait. That was one of the lessons. If you're doing the Bible in a year, you're probably somewhere in Numbers right now. And if you're in Numbers, I mean the whole Bible, not just how we do it here, where it's sections. In the lesson at this time of year in Numbers is the children didn't listen when God told them to attack, so they messed up the timing, and they had a lack of faith, and they complained the whole way up to that point. So 1 year in the wilderness for every 1 day of complaining. And then, that's just a really long time. I'm thinking about how often, I might complain in the day. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So it'd be a lot. And then, because I'm not trying to say I'm better than any of them. That's not the truth. When things get hard, people complain. It's part of what we do. Sometimes when we complain, it gets better. And that's why we're incentivized to express those feelings. So, remember to do it in a way where you're asking God's assistance with this problem. Not just, complaining and, calling names or something. Don't call names. Pray to God instead. I hope you join me tomorrow, friends, when we'll be doing verses 19 through 36. Until then. Our daily energy reading for March 27th, 2026 is the Bible reminds us God seeks to shine his light upon us to give us peace. We should let him. We really should. Woonjo says, be joyful, because why not? You are alive, and that is a gift. Let's see what we can get up to today. The Hebrew letter Nun says this is about the air. The Archangel card, crystal clear intentions. Michael reminds me of a drill sergeant. Says, stay on the purpose. Like, focus. Yes, sir. The sacred geometry card transition says, this change is not going anywhere. So if they're in the midst of like a wilderness season, and all peoples go through a wilderness season, okay, it's just what is. It's in the wilderness season that we are formed into what God is intending us to be. It's when you start shedding those things that really seriously don't matter, that when you were young, you so thought were going to matter because they so looked like symbols to you. And then you find out that those symbols, they didn't mean anything, because God will take away every idol you could ever have until you only recognize that his opinion is the one that truly matters. So this change, if it's something you could in no way fix, then you are being moved about, compassed about by the hand of God. And fighting it is useless. Except that this change is permanent. And be very clear with what brings you happy. And make sure you are incorporating God time and time for Jesus to shine his peace upon you, because this change is meant to remove things that you don't even like. The psalm reminds us that when we feel like we are fleeing from the enemy is when we need God the most. Even King David, who was one of the most, and then King Solomon after him, at least in the beginning part of King Solomon's reign, two of the most prolific kings in Jewish history. Solomon being the heyday, David being starting of that dynasty, because they were a dynasty, best believe. Right? Those particular crossover their kings. One of the reasons they were so favored by God is when the enemy was surrounding them, they threw themselves on the mercy of God, begging and pleading for his intervention and telling themselves and telling everybody, and they made these things public, that we are nothing without God. Devoutness without religious efficiency. Extreme devoutness without it. And it is the willingness to correct themselves and to humble themselves and to make that publicly known that made them so supported by God. And we don't have to wonder or question, and you could be like, that's your opinion. I'm sorry, do we not have the Psalms and the Proverbs literally in the Bible with the voice of these men, addressing in this way? Because we do seem to have it there. So may we emulate not the arrogance of every king that might exist, but the humbleness of the king that God liked so much from the time he was a young child writing these songs, that he raised him to kingship and gave him a dynasty and then allowed his descendants to become the stepfather of the living God's only begotten Son. Let's be the best version of ourselves that we can be today. And remember that we will always need the Lord.